In my view, as I earlier said, in my view, freedom struggle, armed liberation struggle is legitimate and it is their due right and they can do it. And they have, of course, done it in a very, I should say, effective way, despite all odds, despite the fact that in the post 9/11 world, particularly, there were many problems. Still, I believe that indigenous movement, if it rises and it gains momentum, and post World War II, everywhere it has happened that armed struggles within a state or within the occupied territory, they get success only when they are supported by another state. When sanctuary is provided to them, and when material support, of course, is provided to them, people draw comparisons and parallels between what happened in Kashmir and what happened in Afghanistan, but they forget many things. Forget many things about the terrain, forget many things about the kind of deployment which is in the venue and which was in Afghanistan. For example, in Afghanistan initially, US and Hazara, they bombarded, carpet bombing was there, oxygen failures and many things, many atrocities. And for example, and many other. Later on, when everything was destroyed, and then troops were grounded, and then the same game started. Guerrilla tactics here again, and then run, hit and run. And of course, there were many other international actors which were involved here, which were supporting one or the other group. And then even the counter-insurgency tactics were applied by the US and Hazara. And it was only then when they realized that they could not overpower that insurgency that they started talking to them and further negotiations and other things. So, keeping in mind those differences between the two cases, I believe that this indigenous armed struggle is one of the very significant options available to the people of Kashmir. But of course, decision is theirs, and they should not opt for it unless they are sure that they would be supported by another state. As far as armed liberation struggle is concerned, as Sami earlier pointed out, my earlier presentation was exactly on this issue: liberation of legality of armed liberation struggle and international law and Islamic law. As far as my position is concerned, I am very much clear about it that people of occupied territories, and Kashmiris are, of course, in their territory. People of occupied territories have the right to armed struggle. Whether they can practically exercise their right or not is a different matter. Legally speaking, they are entitled to this. Resistance is their birthright. Nobody can deny this to them. If they organize themselves, and this has been very much documented in various UN General resolutions, as well as in other international covenants and conventions and treaties, depriving them of their right to self-determination is a crime, is a violation of international law. Supporting them in their freedom struggle is not only permissible under Islamic law, the verse that was translated here, it is obligatory, and even under international law, as I earlier referred to Article 39 of the UN Charter, the Security Council is under an obligation to intervene in such matters. And where necessary, under Article 42 of the UN Charter, it can even deploy armed forces there. It is not doing it. Now, what are the circumstances, similar circumstances, where UN Security Council failed to perform its international duty and obligation of maintaining and restoring international peace? What other states were doing that? For example, the NATO states, they bombarded Serbia in 1998 without any authorization from the UN Security Council. UN Security Council authorized them later on retrospectively when Russia and US and UK they reached a compromise. But the act was committed already, so they gave it later ratification retrospectively. And there are other examples as well. Even when the United States of America invaded Afghanistan in 2001, it was without any authorization from the UN Security Council. Even the resolution of 2001, 1369, which listed many obligations of the Taliban regime and which demanded many things from them, it never authorized US or her allies to invade Afghanistan. What happened later on was a retroactive or retrospective legitimacy that was given under the doctrine of necessity and US. Because the Taliban regime was toppled, because the foreign forces were there, now a changed reality was recognized by the UN Security Council and legitimized it. Originally, this was illegal. In 2003, when UK and US invaded Iraq, this was illegal. This was without any UN Security Council authorization. But later on, UN Security Council ratified it and gave it a kind of legitimacy. So my point is that with these big powers, they consider that the UN Security Council no longer performs its obligations and rather has become a hurdle. They take it upon themselves, they do it, and then later on they get ratification from the Security Council. And in the post-war war era, and particularly the post-9/11 world, this has happened many times, and now even they have gone to the extent where now they use other platforms that they have it here. Now, Financial Action Task Force is a separate setup, and it has nothing to do with the UN system. Those who are in the UN Security Council, they, along with a few others, have formed another organization and have formed another force, and now they ask us to comply with their demands. Else, you would be in blacklist, you would be in red list. Now, what is this? This is intimidation. And this is without UN cover. This should have been done by the UN Security Council, but they are not doing it there. Similarly, when they ask us to change your laws, or else the GSP plus status awarded to you by the European Union will be withdrawn. What is this? Forcing us to change our laws. So my opinion is that we are in an obligation to support Kashmiris in their indigenous freedom fight. Legally, there is no hurdle. Practically, there may be problems. Practically, we may not be able to do that. That is a different question. But as far as law is concerned, it is very much clear that there is legally no hurdle in it. Thank you very much for that. As far as the armed liberation struggle is concerned, as Sami earlier pointed out, my earlier presentation was exactly on this issue. Liberation of legality of armed liberation struggle and international law and Islamic law. As far as my position is concerned, I am very much clear about it that people of occupied territories, and Kashmiris are of course in their category. People of occupied territories have the right to armed struggle. Whether they can practically exercise their right or not is a different matter. Legally speaking, they are entitled to this. Resistance is their birthright. Nobody can deny this to them. If they organize themselves, and this has been very much documented in various UN General Assembly resolutions, as well as in other international covenants and conventions and treaties, depriving them of their right to self-determination is a crime, is a violation of international law. Supporting them in their freedom struggle is not only permissible under Islamic law, the verse that was translated here, it is obligatory, and even under international law, as I earlier referred to Article 39 of the UN Charter, the Security Council is under an obligation to intervene in such matters. And where necessary, under Article 42 of the UN Charter, it can even deploy armed forces there. It is not doing it. Now, what are the circumstances, similar circumstances, where UN Security Council failed to perform its international duty and obligation of maintaining and restoring international peace, what other states were doing then? For example, the NATO states, they bombarded Serbia in 1998 without any authorization from the UN Security Council. UN Security Council authorized them later on, retrospectively, when Russia and US and UK, they reached a compromise. But the act was committed already, so they gave it later ratification retrospectively. And there are other examples as well. Even when the United States of America invaded Afghanistan in 2001, it was without any authorization from the UN Security Council. Even the resolution of 2001, 1369, which listed many obligations of the Taliban regime and which demanded many things from them, it never authorized US or her allies to invade Afghanistan. What happened later on was a retroactive or retrospective legitimacy that was given under the doctrine of necessity and US. Because the Taliban regime was toppled, because the foreign forces were there, now a changed reality was recognized by the UN Security Council and legitimized it. Originally, this was illegal. In 2003, when UK and US invaded Iraq, this was illegal. This was without any UN Security Council authorization. But later on, UN Security Council ratified it and gave it a kind of legitimacy. So my point is that with these big powers, they consider that the UN Security Council no longer performs its obligations and rather has become a hurdle. They take it upon themselves, they do it, and then later on they get ratification from the Security Council. And in the post-World War era, and particularly the post-9/11 world, this has happened many times, and now even they have gone to the extent where now they use other platforms that they have illegal. Now, Financial Action Task Force is a separate setup, and it has nothing to do with the UN system. Those who are in the UN Security Council, they, along with a few others, have formed another organization and have formed another force, and now they ask us to comply with their demands. Else, you would be in blacklist, you would be in red list. Now, what is this? This is intimidation. And this is without UN power. This should have been done by the UN Security Council. But they are not doing it there. Similarly, when they ask us to change your laws, or else the GSP plus status awarded to you by the European Union will be withdrawn. What is this? Forcing us to change our laws. So my opinion is that we are in an obligation to support Kashmiris in their indigenous freedom fight. Legally, there is no hurdle. Practically, there may be problems. Practically, we may not be able to do that. That is a different question. As far as law is concerned, it is very much clear that there is legally no hurdle in it.